Welcome, everyone. All right. We've got a lot of folks joining us this evening, so I'm going to give it a few minutes before we officially get started and the magic happens. But while we are waiting for everyone to join us, if you want to just type into the chat box and let me know where you're joining us from this evening. We always like to see where our guests are coming from and what's going on in your lives. If you want to post what you're going to be for Halloween or what your kids are going to be, if you're doing anything fun for Halloween, my personal favorite holiday of the year. So we've got someone coming in from Wisconsin. Wonderful. I've been to Wisconsin a couple of times, loved it there. Michigan. Oh, I was just in Michigan. Everyone I know from Michigan does this to tell me where in Michigan they're from. On the hand. Houston, Iowa. Welcome. Welcome, Iowa. Someone local to Frontier. Chicago. Awesome. All right. Colorado. I love Colorado. I was just in Colorado for the American Herbalist Guild Symposium. That was in the beautiful Rocky Mountains. It was in Granby, Colorado. I got to drive through the Rocky Mountains in the snow, which was super exciting for my mid-Atlantic self. A little terrifying, but it was gorgeous. I was able to go to oh, thanks. Yeah, this is my fairy corset, courtesy of Maresca's. I am obsessed with the Renaissance Festival. So I live in Northern Virginia, and we in Maryland, I grew up in Maryland, have one of the best Renaissance festivals in the entire country. So I got this from one of my Ren Fair outfits. I have several. So this is from Maresca's. They are phenomenal. But yeah, I was just in Colorado in the Rockies. We've got someone from Georgia. Awesome. I love Georgia. My aunt and uncle live in Atlanta. Okay, I'm going to give it another minute. Rochester, New York. Fantastic. And then we'll go ahead and get started. Awesome. People from all over this evening. That's what we love. Yes, and if you want your chat to be able to go to everybody in the class tonight, if you click the three dots on the right-hand corner of the little chat box, you can change your settings from hosts and panelists to everyone. So if you want everyone to be able to see your questions, your comments, go ahead and do that. If not, it'll come to myself and my amazing, wonderful counterpart, Elena. She is the other aromatherapy educator here at Cacia, and she will be hanging out with you all in the chat box this evening to answer any questions that you may have that come up during the class. And I will do my best to answer questions that are specific to either me or, as I see them come in, but Elena has the chat box handled, and I'll be able to answer a few questions myself at the end. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so welcome everyone to our magical Acacia virtual class this evening. My name is Betsy Miller. I am one of the aromatherapy educators here at Acacia. I'm also an herbalist. I've been with Acacia for a little over 8 years now, I think going on 9 years. And I just like to start by sharing a little bit about Frontier. Frontier is based in Iowa. I'm not in Iowa. I am in Northern Virginia. And Frontier, so Acacia is part of Frontier Co-op. I like to say that Frontier Co-op is our mothership. And under Frontier, we have Acacia with our amazing essential oils and carrier oils and skincare products. We also have Simply Organic, and they do like the vanilla extracts and the simmer sauces and those fun things. And then we have Plant Boss, which has meat alternatives. So we are a wonderful co-op family. If you're not familiar with Frontier, I highly encourage you to check us out and see all the amazing herbs and spices and essential oils that we carry as part of our co-op family. I also want to say that we do have a live transcript going this evening. So if you don't want to if you don't want to see the live transcript, you just hit the CC at the bottom of your screen, and then you can click hide subtitles. So that'll get those subtitles to go away. So yes, my name is Betsy, and I hope you all are ready for a spooky, magical evening, because Halloween is it's my favorite holiday. I know there's holidays where we give gifts and holidays where we focus on love and all the other holidays, but Halloween, is the one time of year I get to dress like this and no one gives me weird looks. Um, I mentioned that I go to the Ren Fair every year. It just ended in Maryland for this year, and we got to go a couple of times. And a few years ago, I went to the Ren Fair and I wore this. And then afterwards, we went to a work party for my husband, and he's a high school teacher here in Virginia. And I showed up at the work party dressed like this. My husband went to the Ren Fair dressed like a normal person, so he was the one everyone was like, what's wrong with you? And then I get to this party, and all his, coworkers and their families are there, and I'm dressed like this, and then I'm getting the looks about like, what's wrong with you? So if I could dress like this all year, I 100% would. I just I love Halloween. So I'm very excited to take my kids trick-or-treating this year. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. My 5-year-old is going to be a Dilophosaurus, which if you don't know what that is, from Jurassic Park, the dinosaur that goes and shoots acid. Thank you, Pottery Barn, for actually having a Dilophosaurus costume. I did not know how I was going to make that. And then my 2.5-year-old is going to be a bus because he's obsessed with buses. So we take Halloween very seriously in my house. So the recipes I have for you this evening are really just fun, easy recipes that you can do with your kids or yourself just to make the holiday even more fun and exciting and aromatic. So the first recipe I actually have going back here in my diffuser. And Elena's going to be posting the recipes in the chat box for you, so you don't have to worry about trying to write them down or get everything that I say. Elena has that covered. But our first recipe is the Spellbound Diffusion. And this features clary sage, cypress, and grapefruit. So the full recipe is 3 drops of clary sage, 3 drops of cypress, and 1 drop of grapefruit. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about each of these essential oils. These are, I love the combination of very like herbal and earthy essential oils with citrus. There's something just really magical about that combination. Clary sage, we have one thing you'll notice with our labels, which I don't know if you've seen the beautiful label refresh that has come out with these just splashes of color that are amazing. We give a descriptor on each of our essential oil bottles. So for clary sage, we have balancing. So I really love clary sage as an essential oil for kind of when you're feeling like life is going like this, clary sage can really help you find center. In terms of this recipe, it really helps harmonize the almost sharp note of citrus and of cypress and the really citrusy, crisp note of grapefruit. So I often add clary sage essential oils to my blends for that pure harmonizing aspect of it. In terms of Halloween, clary sage is believed to be an essential oil of vision, right? And being able to tap into that sixth sense ability, that ability to tap into the otherworldly nature. So of course we have to have clary sage in a recipe because of that connection to the ethereal. Then we have cypress, which we have our descriptor is encouraging. And I love cypress. Whenever I think of cypress, I think of like, if you've ever been on the East Coast, I don't know if they have this tree on the West Coast. I haven't spent as much time on the West Coast, but there's a tree called bald cypress that we have here on the East Coast. And it likes to grow in the essential oil. This cypress essential oil doesn't come from bald cypress, but our bald cypress tree, it likes to grow with its feet in the water, right? Its roots in the water. So you'll often see it on the edges of lakes, even growing into like parts of the ocean or the bay comes up to the shore. And it has these just like ancient, sweeping, soft branches to it. And that's like, whenever I hear the word cypress, I think of that. Or I also think of the Spanish moss hanging from the cypress trees that are very, like almost like they're guarding the realm to the other world. So our cypress is sourced in Spain, but anytime I think of the word cypress or even the smell, I just get that sense of an oil that, or an aroma, a feeling of that space between worlds. So the cypress tree that I mentioned, the bald cypress, it's like the guardian between the earth and the water, right? Between those two elements. And the Spanish moss that grows from the cypress trees is like the guardian between our world and the spirit world. So for me, it has a very like otherworldly meditative note to it. In terms of its actual aroma, it's very it's very herbal with like a almost like a sharp undertone. I don't know if you've ever smelled the cypress, but I really like it. It's very like it helps me feel alert and awake. And then grapefruit. You can never go wrong with grapefruit. I'm a citrus girl. If I could only diffuse one type of essential oil, it would be citrus. And grapefruit is just happy. I can't not smile when I smell grapefruit. So we have revitalizing, and it is absolutely revitalizing, 100%. It just helps me feel joyful and uplifted, and I think it just does such a great job of complementing the earthy herbal nature, and almost like if you're familiar with the story of Persephone in Greek mythology, how she was kidnapped by Hades, right, the god of the underworld, down into the underworld, and she spends half the year with Hades in the underworld, and then she comes up in the spring, and she had to stay down there, because she ate the pomegranate, and who cannot eat pomegranate? But to me, like the combination of earthy herbal essential oils with something uplifting like citrus reminds me of that cycle of being, heading down into the underworld. Like this time of year, the reason we celebrate All Hallows, Samhain, Halloween this time of year is because the veil between worlds is thinning. So I think that, the difference, the contrast between these earthy herbal essential oils and the citrus oil is very reminiscent of that contrast between heading into the dark months like we are now and emerging in the spring. So just a little bit of the lore and the legend behind the essential oils, if you will. So one tip I have for you, for any diffusion blend you want to do this time of year for Halloween, get yourself a cool mist diffuser like this one. We have several that we carry at Cacia. We have one that looks like a beautiful wood pattern. This one's my favorite. And what you can do is you can hollow, this pumpkin is not quite big enough. We haven't gotten our big pumpkins yet. We're going to do that this weekend. But you hollow out your pumpkin, make sure it's nice and hollowed out and clean in there, and carve your jack-o'-lantern face into it. And then you carve a secret little hole on the backside. And what you can do is you can actually place the diffuser inside the pumpkin. And so the cord is coming out the back, so you can plug it in. And then the mist from the cool mist diffuser actually comes out the face of the jack-o'-lantern. It looks so cool. I know some people will put like dry ice in pumpkins, but this way you get the benefit of the aromatherapy and the really cool looking mist coming out of the pumpkin. So that's a really fun way that you could use this spellbound diffusion. Okay. Let me take a look at our chat box here. I know Elena has got it covered. Yes. Oh, so Natalie says she saw cypress trees in Florida. Yes. They're just so magical. I love cypress trees. Okay. So our next recipe, I think is probably my favorite one this evening because it's just so cute. And this is the best one to do with kids. The first part does require parental involvement, which is just getting one of these cute little mini pumpkins, and you're going to hollow out your little mini pumpkin here, same way you would with a big pumpkin. And then you're going to take any type of coarse sea salt. I put mine in a fun potion bottle for this evening. So you're going to do, this is Himalayan pink salt. You can do any type of like Epsom salt, any type of coarse sea salt. And we are just going to fill our pumpkin here with about a half cup of this coarse sea salt. The key is you just want to fill it so that the salt isn't going to spill out of the top of the pumpkin, because you want to be able to put the lid of the pumpkin back on. I can figure out which direction that goes. There we go. When it's not in use. because that'll help keep the aroma trapped inside. So we've put our 1/2 cup of potion Himalayan sea salt in our little baby pumpkin here. And then we are going to be doing several of my favorite fall essential oils. So this time of year, you know, I am definitely the like pumpkin spice should probably start in August person. I'm not a summer person. I love fall. I love spring. I struggle with the temperature extremes of summer and winter, especially in the DC area because it's just so humid. Like today and tomorrow, it's been in the 80s in the DC area and it's October. Like I am ready for 60s. So I am all about the pumpkin spice aroma this time of year. So any type of diffusion or mist, or you know, I'm obsessed with this Stash tea brand, their pumpkin spice tea, pumpkin spice chai, so good. So this diffusion recipe for a pumpkin diffuser is very reminiscent of that pumpkin spice. So we're going to be doing 3 drops of copaiba essential oil. I love copaiba. So sometimes these essential oils that are a little bit thicker, more resinous, take a little bit longer to come out. So you can tap the bottom of the bottle and that'll get them to come. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So 3 drops of copaiba, 3 drops of sweet orange, which like grapefruit is just so cheery and it gives it this, you know, citrus and spice combination. So 1, 2, 3, and you can see how much faster the sweet orange essential oil came out because it's not as thick as that copaiba. 2 drops of nutmeg, which smells just like the nutmeg spice. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 2 drops. 1 for good luck. That is totally fine. 2 drops of Cacia, which is cinnamon. Cinnamomum cassia, or Cinnamomum aromaticum, I should say. Cinnamomum aromaticum. 1, 2. And then lastly, 1 drop of clove. 1 for good luck. And 1 of vanilla. So I just want to point out before I put the vanilla in there, you'll see, where's my camera? There we go. Our vanilla is in jojoba. How do I get that centered? There we go. So we have a line of essential oils that we call our ready to use essential oils. These ones come already diluted in jojoba oil. So these are the only ones out of our essential oil line that look like this that are okay to put on the skin right out of the bottle. Every other single essential oil has to be diluted in a carrier oil. Even lavender has to be diluted in a carrier oil in order to be put on the skin safely. But our ready to use line, like vanilla, frankincense, sandalwood, rose, we have jasmine, several in the ready to use line. These one can actually go on the skin right out of the bottle because they are diluted in jojoba. So this is our vanilla. I just love vanilla, everything vanilla. 1 drop of vanilla. And then we're just going to give it a little stir to make sure it's all mixed in there. And that is all you have to do to make a really simple, like desk diffusion. So it smells so good. It's like pumpkin spice in a pumpkin. So you could put this on your desk at work. When you want to smell the aroma, obviously you're going to leave the little lid of the pumpkin off. But when you're stepping away from your desk or wherever you put it in your home, if you put the lid of the pumpkin back on, that'll help keep the volatile oils from dissipating as quickly. So it'll preserve the aroma. The pumpkin will last longer. If you don't want to put this in a pumpkin, you can easily just put these in a little dish or glass jar and do the same recipe and just cap it when you're not using it, and it'll last even longer than when it's in the pumpkin because it'll be more airtight. You could even, if you want to get extra creative, do this same recipe with a larger pumpkin, put the sea salt or Himalaya salt, whatever type of salt you're using at the bottom, after you've carved your face into the pumpkin, and then you can put your candle to light up your jack-o'-lantern on top of the salt that you've put the essential oils on. And that way you have, an aromatic pumpkin diffuser that is also a jack-o'-lantern. So there's so many ways to have fun with Halloween and pumpkins and aromatherapy. And I just came up with that idea right now. And I think I'm probably going to do that with this pumpkin. Yes, that is the plan for you, my friend. Okay. Oh, that smells so good. I love that combination. Pumpkin spice in a pumpkin. So I'm going to leave the lid off so I can smell it for our last recipe. All right, I saw we had a question come in the Q&A. So let me, so that's a great question. So someone asked, since Cacia and Copaiba are not dog safe, what do you recommend as substitutes? That's an excellent question. You can either just omit them entirely, or instead of Cassia, you could do an extra drop of clove or nutmeg for that spice aroma. And instead of copaiba, you could do something else that's a little bit resinous. Like I actually think frankincense or sandalwood would go really well with this blend. Because they have that that almost like earthiness that that copaiba brings to it. So that was a great question. Thank you. Okay. So put our little pumpkin lid over here so I don't lose it. Our last recipe is so much fun. Kids will also love this recipe, but it's definitely a parental supervision, or the parent just makes it and then the kids can enjoy it process. Oh, I love tea. So our last recipe is our spooky shimmery body oil. So I have cosmetic grade silver mica. It's silver mica that I got on Amazon. You can choose any color mica powder that you want for making this. I think purple would be cool. Green would be awesome if you have anyone going as like a zombie or a ghoul. But silver works for the ghosts and the fairies for Halloween. So we are going to do 1 to 2 teaspoons of silver mica. So, and I recommend using a funnel to get it in there. Now, normally I would be making these products in the Oracacia brown amber glass jar. But I want you to be able to see the end result because it's so cool. So I do recommend using a funnel to get all the mica in there. Otherwise, you're going to have a sparkly mess on your hands. All right. Do one more because glitter. I'm all about glitter. Oh, and it's sparkling everywhere because it flew up in the air. It's like fairy dust. Ah, I love it. All right. I think I'm actually going to gift this to my 5-year-old. Goes to a really cool farm preschool, and one of his teachers there, a young girl, she's in her early 20s. She loves, glitter and face paint and all fun things for preschool teachers to love. So I think I'm going to give this to her tomorrow. Okay. So we have our silver mica in there, and it looks a little gray right now, but wait till you see what happens when it goes in the oil. And then we're just going to put our essential oils directly on top of the mica powder. So we're going to start with 10 drops of lavender. Can't go wrong with lavender. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 5 drops of frankincense. You could also do the frankincense in jojoba that we carry. You might want to just do an extra drop or 2. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 for good luck. 5 drops of patchouli. I am rekindling my love of patchouli. I when I was in college, I lived in what could only be called as a hippie commune. It was amazing, but there was a lot of patchouli happening. And for several years after that, I needed space. I needed a break from patchouli. But now I am finding my love of patchouli again. And then, let's see. You see how it takes this one longer to come out because it's so thick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And then lastly, 4 drops of mandarin orange. You could also do sweet orange in this blend if you wanted to. I went with mandarin because it's ever so slightly heavier than sweet orange. Sweet orange is very like bright and sparkly, and mandarin orange is more like rich and citrusy as opposed to like bright and sparkly. So we're going to do 4 drops of this, but you could easily substitute sweet orange. So we've got our essential oils in there. And then we are going to fill up our bottle with 2 ounces of jojoba. You can really go with any carrier oil that you like. I love jojoba. So that's what I went with. Oh, this looks so cool. I can't wait for you guys to see this. And I'll put it on so you can see what it looks like on your skin. Okay. Oh my God, I made a potion. I'm gonna steal the lid. Ah! My lid ran away. Okay. Got my lid. This is exactly why I did it in a clear jar. So I'm going to shake for clear bottle. I'm going to shake this up and then I'll hold it up to the screen. It does take the mica a while to integrate. So you're going to shake, shake, shake. And then look at that potion. Oh, this is so, I might have to make another one for the teacher because I kind of want to keep this one. Or I could give her this one and make another one for myself. But look at it. Oh, it's so cool. Okay, so then all you do, and I will say one thing you'll notice is the mica will settle after a while. So every time you're going to use it, you just need to shake it up really well. So this would be perfect if you have anyone going as a ghost or a fairy, and you just put it on your skin and massage it in. And it just, I know you guys can't really see this very well, but it just leaves. My husband's laughing at me. He just came downstairs from getting our 5-year-old to bed and hadn't seen my outfit yet. And now he's laughing at me. You guys can't see my skin, but it is just like I am adorned in fairy dust and glitter. I am so in love with this recipe. Oh, and it smells so good. It's very like, it's so alluring. Oh my gosh, this is the coolest potion in the world. This actually, to me, might top what I made last year. If you guys were on my class last year, I did a potion that was like green fizzy bath salt. And I think I love this one even more. We should call this like, I know we call it spooky shimmery body oil, but I think I should call it like full moon in a bottle. It's a full moon tonight, right? So full moon in a bottle. That is gorgeous. So this would be a really fun Halloween activity for you and your kids. And you can adjust the amount of mica up or down if you want. I did 1 teaspoon in this one. I would not go more than 2 because I don't think it'll fully integrate if you go more than 2, but you'd be fine with even, I'd say, a half teaspoon. But this was 1 full teaspoon in here. Oh, I am in love with that recipe. So let me check out the chat box here and see what kind of questions we had coming in. Yeah, it is pretty. I'm glad you guys like it. It's my new favorite. I make one for the summer months with gold mica to give me like a, golden glow for the summer months. But this one is so perfect for the fall and the winter months. You could even do like little anointing on your skin, on your face if you want to. Jojoba is a non-comedogenic oil, so it's not going to clog pores. Obviously, we just don't want to put it too close to our eyes between the essential oils and the mica. We don't want it to aggravate our eyes, but you could absolutely do, like little trails of of fairy dust on your face without worrying about clogging your pores. I saw we had a couple questions come in the Q&A. So yes, you can absolutely use this recipe on children. These are all very gentle essential oils that I've used on my kids as well. If the aroma seems like it might be a little strong for your kids, you can just do half the number of drops of everything, especially for small children. And if you wanted to do an aroma-free body oil for your children that will still give them the sparkle, you could just omit the essential oils entirely, or just do, lavender and sweet orange is one of my favorite combinations for children, just plain lavender and sweet orange. But the recipe as is, I would use this with my kids. Let's see. We also have, yep, so we can use the full moon shimmer lotion. Yay, I'm glad I'm going to change the recipe to that. I'm actually going to change it on the website, I think. It's going to be called the full moon shimmer oil. Yes, you can use it on your face, but like I said, because of the mica, because of the essential oils, I wouldn't get it too close to your eyes. I just don't want any mica getting in your eyes. So I would say, like, use it to highlight, sparkle on your cheekbones when you're going out as a fairy or a witch or a ghost or whatever, whatever your amazing costume is this year. Okay, so we are going to be sending out a follow-up email that will have a coupon for you if you want to get the products to make these amazing recipes yourself. You can use the code AC2590, and that will get you a discount online from oracacia.com. And then the email will also have a coupon that you can use in the brick and mortar stores that carry Oracacia products. We are going to be doing our next Oracacia virtual class live on November 16th with Elena, and she's going to be showing you all how to make some awesome holiday gifts. So things that you can give in December if you celebrate holidays then, or just to bring a little bit more joy to the cold winter months. So that'll be November 16th with Elena at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, just like tonight. And then if you haven't taken a look at our YouTube channel yet, Oracacia has an amazing YouTube channel. So Elena and I just finished up a 3-part aroma series where we talked about top notes like sweet orange, middle notes and base notes like frankincense, middle notes like rose and lavender are florals, where we really went deep into the phytochemistry of those essential oils and what they do for us in terms of our mood and how we feel and how to blend them, why they're considered top, middle, and base notes. So if you want to dig a little bit deeper into the science behind aromatherapy, you can check out the recordings of those 3 classes for free on our YouTube channel, as well as all of our most of our past Oracacia virtual classes are on there, and this one will be on there as well for you all. So I hope you all had just a wonderful evening with me this evening. Let me see if there's some other chats coming in. Yes, thank you, Elena, for posting the YouTube links. So yes, please check us out on YouTube. And oh, I'm glad you enjoyed the class. Thank you. Yeah, these are just such fun projects. And as a mom with 2 small kids, I love coming up with recipes that are family friendly. And I think all of these really are. I will say, make sure you keep your mica powder out of reach of 2-year-olds. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you for Amazon for getting it here, my replacement, on time. So I hope you all have a wonderful and safe Halloween. Please feel free to check out the Oracacia website to see some of our other awesome recipes that we have up there if this piqued your interest in DIY aromatherapy. And we will see you all in November. Have a great Halloween, everyone.